AOA podcast back for another episode. Holy cow, we got some breaking news. Moments before we started, we got the word that the United States of America has stopped military aid going to the Ukraine, pausing it, I should say. Is that different from a stop? Pam Bondi's Jeffrey Epstein Gaffe will explain. Jay-Z sues the lawyer for Diddy's victims. We've got the craziest Oscar moment that you didn't see, and a different man film review. Last episode. I was going to do the thing where we go to the thing and then we come back and you're here.
What thing? We're starting. Wow, hey, oh, hey.
Well, this thing. And then it'll be like, oh, yeah, Frankie C's here. He appeared magically. It was amazing.
Well, I don't know about you anymore.
Frankie C.
What's happening?
I did my best to keep President Trump off of this episode.
Do you remember a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Well, maybe before the inauguration, where we were like, oh, it's not going to be every day. You were like, I'm going to be like, no, it's going to be all the time. It's going to be nonstop.
Yeah.
This is all it's going to be. The news, he's going to be the headline every day, and it's not going to stop. What are we? What is this? The fifth week, sixth week?
Yeah.
And it's already feels like it's been 4 years already.
Well, to you, I was doing it for you. I was like, there's no big news. There's no Zelensky. There was a little follow up, but I'm like, I'm going to ignore it. It happened Sunday.
It's always going to be something.
Well, this is important because this is
it's always important.
No, I feel like this is different. This is the United States of America, and then there's the crazy President Trump stuff. So there's two differences there. I probably can't explain it to everybody. It's all the same to Frankie C. Clearly, he feels that way. But this is breaking news. This literally happened just before we got on. But I want you to know we were going with no political stuff until, and I can I be honest? I feel like President Trump is actually doing this to antagonize you, because he specifically waited till just before the episode went live. I mean, why else would he do that? You know what I'm saying?
That's probably a personal.
It's a personal
attack.
Maybe you should take it easy on him, and he won't come back after you so harshly with stories like that.
Is that what this is?
Well, 9 to 5 is the typical American workday. That's usually when the president, president never stops presidenting. But
did he just get off the golf? I think he just got off the golf course is what happened. He got off the golf course. He had a shitty round and he went, you know what? I'm just going to piss everybody off. It's Monday. I'll piss everybody off. Let me stop it.
Did I ever tell you a couple of weeks ago, the White House put out a thing that they were going to start allowing for more alternative press versus the mainstream media. And they put a link out to apply for press credentials, and we applied with your name. Did I ever tell you that?
Did we get approved?
Well, we got a letter back from the FBI that says need not apply anymore.
Got it.
We're well aware of Frankie C, and you need not apply any longer, was the letter that we got. So we got a response, positive response.
Nice.
You think about it. I mean, we're on the map, I guess.
Okay, well, the name's out there,
but we're not going to be in the press room anytime soon. Is I guess the point of that whole story.
I'll wear an AOA hat. I would love. Here's my dream.
Yeah,
love to raise my hand and ask the idiot in charge to be just a straightforward question, like, I don't know. Oh, just a like a here's what you should know question, not a topical question. Just ask him a question about stuff he should know, like what does this amendment of the Constitution say? Just something he should know as president. You know what I mean?
You should go with if a tree falls in the woods, he'll never get past that. That's
That's a very good question. I get that question a lot. We see a lot of trees, especially in California, where we had to turn the water on, but the trees, they're on fire. What are we going to do? He'll go off on some bullshit tangent.
Well, I guess that depends on if the tree likes me. How does the tree feel about me? Does the tree like me? Because then,
if the tree likes me and it fell, I'd gladly help it out. I'd send it aid. If it said thank you to me, if the tree said thank you for allowing me to be a tree in America, an American tree, big time, big tree, love the tree, the tree loves me, said a lot of great things. Then we'd send it aid. If the tree fell, we'd have to send it aid.
if the tree liked me, it would make a sound. Okay. If the tree didn't like me, it wouldn't, because it's dead to me and the rest of America. Okay. Next question.
What kind of brutes?
No, you're very nasty. You're very nasty. Next question.
That's a nasty tree question. We don't like nasty tree questions.
In all seriousness, would you go? Because I feel like you would.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wear a MAGA hat out of a bit.
No.
I think you'd go and you would ask a question. What if it was just the White House press secretary and not him?
The White House press secretary, I would go. I would go.
Yeah, you got to go. That's a must.
I would love to be a person that asks a question that I'd have to, I really, if it's the press secretary, she's smarter than he is. Just education. I feel like she's a little more, she was probably a better student in school. Let's put it that way. But I would definitely ask a question. I don't know. I'd have to think. I'd have to sit down, and if I was seriously going to go, I'd have to sit down and seriously ask questions. Like, I don't know, because it would be definitely a different question if it's her or him.
Yes.
If it's her, it wouldn't. If it's him, it would be something like, do people have to kiss your ass in order to get help? Or something like. See, but even that, you go, next question. I want to get a question that would be, he'd have no choice to answer it, and it would expose him for being stupid.
Okay, let me ask you this: would you wear a MAGA hat that day, just to kind of put him at ease, to set him up, to get your fucking zinger in there? Would you do that?
I would wear a red hat that said something else, that like make a grifter angry.
Okay. All right, I got you.
That? Ooh, did I just come up with that? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Do you want to know what my question would be? I'd have the same question for him or the press secretary. If I was looking at this question, I would be like, hey, can I stand behind the podium for a second? Get a picture taken? That'd be my question, no matter what it would be. That's a good question, I think. I know you don't like it, but that's going to be an awesome... Wait till you see it on Instagram. It's going to be amazing. People will be like,
just going to stay silent just until you realize...
how stupid that was.
Yeah. I think everybody gets to go behind. If you're in that room, once everybody leaves, you could probably just go behind there and do that.
I'd go with the Make America Gay Again hat. I'm a personal fan of that one. I've seen it around.
Okay.
That's one I would wear. I think you would. That would be good for you because it's progressive, it's liberal, and it's also it'll enough to trick them.
Yeah, no, I would wear if the MAGA hat was a trick MAGA hat, then sure.
You wear a Make America Gay Again hat?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right.
I wouldn't wear a full on MAGA hat though. No.
Got it. I get it. But I don't want you to compromise your beliefs. That's for sure.
Yeah, not happening.
This is a big news story though. Just happened literally before we got on the air. President Trump ordered a pause on all U.S. military aid to Ukraine just days after him and President Zelensky had that dust up at the White House. The pause will remain in effect until Ukrainian officials demonstrate a good faith commitment to peace negotiations, a White House official told the New York Post. The official said, quote, "The president has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution." The official noted that the temporary pause is a direct response to Zelensky's conduct over the last week. Trump has ordered Defense Secretary...
Zelensky's conduct?
Yes.
That's rich.
Trump has ordered Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to execute the directive, which will halt the shipment of all U.S. military equipment not already in the Ukraine, including weapons in Europe that were heading toward the war-torn country.
What a giant piece of shit.
Okay, I'm going to let you react. I just want to get one more thing in there, and then we'll turn it over to you. I will note that over the weekend, in fact, on Sunday, and this was the story that I was going to ignore just to not drive you crazy, the United Kingdom, well, Europe, I should say, announced almost $4 billion. I believe it was $4 billion. It was several billion dollars. The European Union announced several billion dollars in aid help to Ukraine. And that was all done under the blessing and knowledge of President Trump. So essentially, our partners over in England were putting this whole deal together with Zelensky. That's where he stopped on his way back from the U.S. They let the United States of America know. Obviously, President Trump and Marco Rubio and everybody involved didn't object and allowed it to go through. So it's not like Ukraine is going to be out there twisting in the wind per se, but they're not getting anything from us, it seems like, in the near future.
The question is why? Because his feelings got hurt in some way, in some twisted way. Like he thinks he feels like he was the victim. I think that, like, in that press conference in the Oval Office on Friday, I think he thinks that he was somehow attacked in some way.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't thanked. So
He what?
he wasn't thanked. So
Oh, he wasn't thanked. Oh, okay. For doing nothing. Got it.
I'm afraid to say anything here because I brought this. I don't know if you
Everything
noticed.
that was done. Well, everything that was done for Ukraine was done by the Biden administration during the war, because the war started 3 years ago
Mhm.
during the Biden administration, and everything that's been done for Ukraine has been done by the Biden administration. So, and he's thanked the United States dozens of times. So I don't understand what they're waiting. What thank you they're waiting for? Thank you for what exactly was
Well, a card. How hard would it have been for him to stop at a CVS on the way over and get a card?
right? But thank you for what? What was he supposed to thank Trump for?
All the aid, all of
That Biden sent.
his Trumpness, his all the just being in the vicinity of Trump.
Oh, I see. Just for being next to him. I got it.
What I was
The whole what a thank you, and that's why you're stopping. He's thanked he said, even in that interview in the Oval Office during that blow up, Zelensky was like, yeah, I thanked America many times, and there are videos of him thanking America. There's tweets, there's everything thanking America for aid, and he's there and he's trying to negotiate, he's trying to get help, and I don't understand what this petty bullshit is of, I'm stopping aid to Ukraine. Why? I'd love for someone to go, well, why? And he's probably going to say, well, Zelensky has to, do a better job, negotiate. He didn't do anything wrong. Zelensky did nothing wrong. He's there trying to help his country. Trump and Vance blew up at him for no reason. Why? Because they insulted Putin? Is that why?
Well, I insulted him a little bit.
Well, that's fine. And we're supposed to.
No. You got a little out of line yourself. You insulted him a little bit. You insulted. Okay, good. I'm done. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were drinking tea.
No, I got to drink tea.
Well, I don't know if you realize I didn't get a word in edgewise.
Go ahead. You can get your words in.
We didn't even play the clips that we were going to play because you went.
I don't want to hear them again. I can't.
You went on like an epic 25-minute rant, which is great. We got a lot of clips out today from it. It was awesome. Or tomorrow, I forget what the schedule is. I don't pay attention when they put it in front of my face. But it was good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I like the weed whacker line. Oh, it was today because somebody was commenting on the weed whacker line. I don't know. I feel like, well, there's a couple things here. One, I think you're sitting on like a story about somebody that you know who got fired for saying biodiversity and got fired for diverse. Like, I think you're sitting on a legitimate news story because you said it last episode.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know somebody. I don't know who it is.
That's true. No, you don't know.
Protect your sources. That's fine. You protect your sources. But I feel like you're sitting on a huge story here.
Well, I don't think it's a secret that people are getting fired for no reason. People are getting fired because a computer program is just eliminating people, and they're like, you think Elon Musk is looking at a person name and going, well, we got to get rid of this person. They're just firing swaths of people just to cut budgets. And it's like, well, you're cutting like a wild person for no reason. There's no rhyme or reason to the firing is my point. They're just cutting.
Understood. But to be fair, like
no
mass
fraud
layoffs
or waste.
but mass layoffs happen the same way. They don't really care. They just like, we have to eliminate 10% of the staff, and that's what happens, you know.
Well, if that's the case, there's usually I can't say they're all justified because they're not, but if a mass layoff happens, my guess is, I mean, not everyone is different, but my hope is that there's no use, they're trying to eliminate the amount of people because the company is shrinking or whatever's going on. But for this, they eliminated people just willy-nilly, and it's like, well, now then they go, oh, we need some of you back. It's like, well, why did you fire them in the first place? Or they eliminated people, and now that department can't do its job, and it's everything's gonna be poorly run. And it's like, well, you're just firing. You're not considering. It's been a few weeks, and all of a sudden, how do you decide in a few weeks that thousands of people need to be fired? It's like, well, you don't even know what they do. You're not even looking into their jobs.
He did the same thing at Twitter. He fired a bunch of people, and then he hired a bunch of them back. Yeah, he did the same thing at Twitter.
Just just an upheaval of people's lives. This isn't a game. These are people's lives.
Well, because it's like you said, it's not always justified. It's not always misjustified either, if I could say.
Okay.
Great comment here. What does he have to do? Suck Trump's dick? Let's not take anything off the table when it comes to Trump.
Well, that's the point. Trump loves you if you kiss his ass. That's literally the bottom line of everything. Trump loves you if you kiss his ass, or I guess have something on him in some way. It's the only. I mean, explain his love affair with Putin.
I want to talk about that. Yeah, I want to talk about that.
His ass.
I want to talk about that. But first, before we get to that, because you just brought up a great point. Everybody knows this guy's playbook. So why did Zelensky go in there and not use the play? Why didn't he run the plays that he should have run to get what he needed?
What did you want him to do? He just sat there.
Thanks for having me, President Trump. We wouldn't be here without you guys. We're looking forward to your administration. We couldn't get anywhere with the last administration, and I'm happy that you're in charge now and that we're going to get somewhere. That's all.
Couldn't get anywhere with the last administration.
Yeah, blow smoke. That's all he would have taken. We couldn't get anywhere with he's not saying anything wrong. He's not shitting on Biden, but he's kind of taking a shot at him. He would have made Trump so fucking happy if he just did that. That's all.
He shouldn't have to do this. This is a president of a country. You should go in there. Thank you very much. This is great. Thanks for having me, which I'm sure he said. I don't even know. I didn't see when they welcomed him in the room.
You just feel that way because you hate the man. Okay.
Are you kidding me? You're defending what happened on Friday?
I'm just saying, if you're Vladimir, if you're Vladimir and you're rolling in there and the fate, listen, is it fair? Is it great? No, but nothing that happens to the president of any country is. And you're rolling in there with the faith of your people behind you. If you got to blow smoke up this orange asshole's asshole, you do it. You just do it.
He wasn't doing it. He did you watch how it went? Like, he didn't say anything he didn't say anything against Trump or Vance until they attacked him. And they just started
you. But listen,
they just started in on him. It's like, what did you want in front of the press? He's leading his country through war. He's going to sit there and go, let me polish your shoes for you. And no, he's supposed to be strong. He's also, I'm sure Putin's watching, his enemy, the guy who's invading his country. You want him to see Zelensky kissing Trump's ass, and like, that's ridiculous. He'll get aid from dozens of other countries. Not yes, it would be great if America could help him. I mean, I don't understand why we have this asshole who
because the country voted for him. I know,
which I don't understand.
I know. But if you're Zelensky, I mean, you've been through this situation how many times? Dude.
This is not his boss. It's not his boss. He's not an employee at a company, Zelensky. He's not. What?
when we were when we were being scouted or what are they called, recruited for a radio station.
Yeah.
We said a lot of stuff we did not mean to people.
Well, you're not hoping to get high. This is not. You're at the same level. You're a president and a president. You should be, Mr. Zelensky, whatever. And your ally. Not only that, your friends, your allies. Not only that, one of you is in the middle of a war defending your country against a dictator. Trump should have been like, whatever we could do to help, we're here for you. What can we do? Tell us, let's sit down, let's talk, let's get you prepared for this war. Not, did you say thank you? Why aren't you wearing a suit? You just sat there and you could. What do you want to throw a pie in his face too? That would have been fine. I mean, what do you want?
Hold on, Trump defended.
You think he passed him on the way out? Is that all right to do? He could do whatever he wants to him. The guy has to kiss his ass, right?
The saddest part about all this is they were supposed to have a lunch afterwards, and that went uneaten. That's sad.
What was it, McDonald's?
I don't know what it is. But to be fair, Trump defended him on the suit thing because the guy from Fox asked the suit question, which I also asked. Mine a little bit more playfully than the Fox guy, and Trump was like, he's just fine. He's I'd like to see him in a little bit more of an army. Give me some green, give me the fatigue look. But I guess that's his army thing, so I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it, and everybody should be fine with it. But when that question was asked in the Oval Office, Trump did defend him, just to be fair. Going back to and listen, but going back to my example, like when we were doing our little radio negotiation, all the talent was on our side of the room, on our side of the table. You mean to tell me you weren't sitting there going, what do I have to tell this idiot so that I could, get everything that we need in this gig? Because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but
the entire time.
How many times have you told me, like when you were interning for the Islanders, or not the Islanders? I'm sorry, when you were doing that. When they told you to cut your beard, when you were they asked you to cut your beard, and you were like, all right, then I guess I can't work here.
Morgan,
did you go? Yes, sir. Let me. Do you need me to? No, I'm not going to say it. But do you need me to wipe your ass for you? No, you didn't do that. You said, all right, I'm out of here.
But I didn't do it because I knew I could just do something else. It wasn't like I wasn't going to be out on the streets.
Point is, he shouldn't have to kiss his ass like that. He's an ally. This isn't, begging. He's not a panhandler. He's not begging for money. He's an ally. He's a friend. He's another country, and their country is at war. And it's like, well, I'm here for help. Why are you treating me like a piece of shit when I'm asking you for help? I'm here to negotiate. I'm giving you. We're going to sit down and negotiate. You taking our minerals in exchange for help. I shouldn't have to do that. That's strong arming me in the first place. You could just take all my, just come on in. We're at war, but you're going to come in and take my shit anyway. All right.
You're basically saying, why wasn't Trump more generous or as generous as Fly NY, who just gifted another AOA membership? That's very, very nice.
Exactly. Thank you, Fly NY.
We need more Fly NY in the government. Is what you're saying.
That's all. That's my point.
Excellent point. It's a good point. So join a member. Join now. Hit the button in the link in the description below because you could be getting a free one on our old pal Fly NY, who tends to gift these things quite often, which is amazing, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful you're not a piece of shit like our president who's going to make you beg for it. Fly NY, do you want somebody to lick your genitalia area in exchange for the membership? Because you'll just have to kick him out of the Oval Office, and then we can see what's what.
It was a disgusting display. I mean, we've been over this on Friday.
Yeah, well, you were. I don't know if you.
Well, it was just disgusting.
I didn't get a word.
Disturbing and embarrassing. It was terrible.
Yeah. But I think I said, and I felt was going to say that I thought Vance was a dick. But to be fair, it was Zelensky who interjected himself into a follow-up that one of the reporters asked. That's how this all got started. And I think that's what set off JD Vance. Again, I think that he was the biggest problem in the room, not Zelensky. I thought
Yeah,
Vance
but
was out of line and uncalled for and caused this whole thing because cooler heads should have prevailed. Somebody
well,
should have been like, we can do this without the press spray, without the photographer spray in the room. We could wait to do this.
there
And
was also, I mean, you got Vance started in on him, but then as Zelensky was answering a question, he brings up Putin, and immediately Trump jumps down his throat defending him, like, "Oh, it's not about Putin." But it's like, well, Putin's the guy invading. But yes, it's gonna be. He's gonna come up as the enemy. I don't know what's so
well,
difficult
Trump
for you to
got mad
understand.
when he said how he was going to feel. Trump didn't like that for whatever reason. That was the big thing that sent him off. Well, let me
Don't
ask you
tell
this
us how we're
question.
gonna feel. What? What are you talking about? You
Yeah.
giant idiot.
He didn't like that. Let me ask you this question. I don't know what the left's obsession is with getting Donald Trump to say a bad thing about Vladimir Putin. And let me get this
He's a
all out.
dictator and he never has. He
No, I
says
know.
bad. The point is, he says bad things about our allies, almost all of them. Whenever he meets any of them, something bad about this one or that one, but he's never said a bad thing about literally one of the worst leaders in the world, right? Right now,
Which I find odd. I find odd
Yeah,
normally, but in this particular case, the media, left wing people, Democrats, liberals, they all want him to say something bad about Putin. Yet
yeah.
Putin is the guy that he has to get on his side in order to get peace with the Ukraine. So why do they keep asking him to say something bad about Putin when that's the dumbest thing he could possibly say right now when he's trying to negotiate peace between the two countries?
Here's why. One,
I
he's
can't
never.
wait to hear this. Go ahead.
Well, the war's been going on for what, 3 years? Even
Yes.
before the war started,
Yes.
he never said anything negative about Putin.
Their relationship together has been suspect for a long time,
Long time.
going back
He's been
to the
kissing his ass
yes,
since he's known the guy.
the developments that he was working on in Moscow and all those places, and the I don't doubt it. There's oligarchs relationships there. There's weird stuff there. I agree.
The man insults everybody. Trump insults everybody.
Yeah,
And he doesn't insult Putin. He doesn't insult his dictator friends that for some reason, because he wants to be just like them. That's the problem.
I don't doubt that.
And it's not even a hidden. It's not. He's not even trying to hide it. He's just that's how he wants to rule.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to be like them. I think he wants their the same amount of respect that they have, like how they rule with an iron fist. I think he loves that. I think he loves that.
Of course he does. That's what a dictator wants. It's not. It's about him. It's not about the country.
But at the
And
same
I'm
time,
tired of I don't know, saying the same things over and over again. Trump's an asshole. Putin's an asshole. Zelensky got attacked. Trump won't say anything bad about Putin because somehow Trump is in Putin's pocket. I don't know why, but there it is. These are what we can put together from everything that we've seen in the history of Trump.
right? But at the same time, why keep pestering and why the desire to have him say something bad about him now when they have to negotiate? And I also think part of this is Trump knows how these people are because he kind of thinks along the same lines a little bit, not entirely, but a little bit. They need their ego stroked too. That's kind of what Trump is doing. And I even look at the play that he made here, Trump against Zelensky. See, I think what Trump did, it was two things. I think he thought, if I rough up Zelensky a little bit here, what do I have to lose? And the answer is absolutely nothing because Zelensky needs the United States.
That's incredibly wrong.
Hang on.
Okay.
Well, let me finish. What he gains is Putin goes, Trump's on my side. I got Trump on my side. So loosens Putin up too. And second, and maybe more importantly, it sets up Trump for what he ultimately wants, right? Which is a deal that he can win. So now all of a sudden the mineral thing is an issue and he turns around and says, well, this wasn't a grant, it was a loan. And, so, I mean, to me, this playbook is, I'm not blinded by hatred for Trump. So I feel like I'm seeing this a little bit clearer. You tell me if you disagree. where he goes, oh, okay, I can warm up Putin a little bit here so that we can get our negotiation together. I can score some economic points by getting these minerals, right, for all the money that we sent over there. So it looks like we came out with something versus nothing. So I beat Biden there again, which he loves to do. And ultimately, and the most important thing, which I feel like this is the most important thing to Trump, he feels like he's moving closer to peace, which that's what he said he would do. And in this ultimate goal, even if he was a Russian asset, even if he was all the bad things that everybody's saying about him, if he said he was going to get to peace and he did it, that's the thing that gets him the most excited in this whole entire scenario. It's not being mean to Zelensky or coming off like a jerk or upsetting liberal people or the media. I think if he promised something and delivers it, to him, that is the ultimate. And I think that's his crazy chaos set of negotiating. I think that's what he was doing in this past week.
I'm still waiting for him to deliver something. Something that he promised. Name me one thing he delivered that he said he would do.
I like the burn, but to be fair, he hasn't even been in the office for 2 months yet. It's not even
4
been 60
years, though.
days.
But he was already there 4 years, and he didn't deliver anything that he said he would.
I understand.
So I don't understand where this "let's see how he does" thing comes from, because we saw it and nothing really happened with this war. The problem is he wants, the way he's been talking, he wants to give Putin more than he deserves. He wants to give him parts of Ukraine, which is not up for grabs. It's Ukraine has their own land, and well, Putin fought for it, and so he's earned. He was saying stuff like he's earned that land because he fought for it. It's like, no, he invaded a country and is trying to take it over. Doesn't grant you any kind of privilege on that land. You're an invader. So there's no, well, we'll give you a little bit of Ukraine. No, that's not the negotiation.
Do you think he was going to give him part of the country?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you hear? I mean, you've heard him say this stuff. He said,
well, he wouldn't be the first. Obama gave him Crimea, right? I mean, he went in and took Crimea and nobody did shit. Everybody sat there and just was like, okay, let's see if we can stop him.
I don't know what happened with Crimea. I don't know the details on Crimea, but this is not. If you want to sit down and negotiate, then talk to Putin. Do it already. What is this? Get it done. You're talking to if bringing in Zelensky, you're talking to the victim, and you're treating him like the enemy. That's the problem. Yeah, you could if you want to negotiate behind the scenes. That's good. Crimea.
It's good. None of us could ignore that one.
No, I can't. I just don't. You should not be. You're on the world stage, and the whole world is looking at you, America, as the leader. And when you shit on your ally, now all of Europe is saying we can't trust America anymore. That's what he's lost.
Well, that's not true.
It's true.
No, it's not. In the announcement yesterday in England, I think they were in England. They said they understand what's going on, and they checked with the United States, and they said, we're going to move forward with this money that we're giving to Ukraine. You have any issues? And they said, no, give it to them. So it's not like,
but they can't come to us for help.
But they even asked,
unreliable.
But they even said to, I forget who it was who gave the press conference. If somebody knows, because it wasn't, maybe it was the new, what's the prime minister? Maybe it was the new prime minister. I forget. But they asked him about that. Like, oh, is this, are you basically, can you not rely on the United States? And they were like, no. They were like, that is not.
They're not going to say that.
Because it's not true. Here's the thing. We've been giving them everything, and the
previous administration has. This one is not.
It's still the United States of America. We gave them
4 more years. We've got this administration to deal with.
Right, but I'm saying we gave them a lot of aid. What's the big deal if? And it's kind of almost. Not even kind of. It's right. It's right that Europe, who is at just as much of a threat. Europe doesn't want Putin advancing just as much as we don't want Putin advancing. Okay. Outside of China, Nobody else doesn't want this guy to move less than us in England.
But when you say
or
us,
Europe.
it's not us. It's because it seems like Trump doesn't give a shit if he takes over Ukraine.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you just hate this guy
He's
so
saying it.
much.
No, he said it. He said, "Oh well, should Trump be given this part of the? Well, he's earned it. He's fought for it, so we'll have to see." It's like, no, he shouldn't get any of it.
He said something to the effect of that, but I think that was a negotiation tactic from Trump. I really do.
Yeah, the genius that he is.
I'm not saying he's a
The art of the
genius.
deal that he didn't write. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not saying he's a genius. Actually, I'm glad you're saying this because it gives me a good chance to clear this up. I'm not saying he's a genius. I'm just trying to interpret his moves based on how he's acted his entire life. And this is how he does things.
You're giving him a huge benefit of the doubt. And there's a lot of doubt.
That's fair.
There's a lot of doubt. And it has never panned out, ever. When has he ever negotiated anything that's worked out?
I mean, he got the embassy into Jerusalem. That was a big deal.
He just said it. He just said we're recognizing Jerusalem as a thing, as the capital. He did that. That's all he did. There was no negotiating there.
I know,
no negotiating.
He gets credit for some things. You can't just keep. You can't just.
That's not credit. People were against that. Nobody wanted that.
Well,
he just said, "We're going to do it." It was basically, "Fuck you, we're doing it." Let's move on. I'm tired of this.
Okay.
I can't anymore. I'm exhausted.
is stopping aid to Ukraine. That's the story today. We'll see what happens. Okay. I still hold out hope that this will all be okay. I don't think it's lost. Do you think it's lost?
Too. No, I think the next 4 years is going to be rough, but I don't think. I think America looks very bad right now. But
speaking of looking bad right now, Frankie C, Pam Bondi, boy, does she look like a horse's ass. Pam Bondi came out. Oh, everybody, I got the Epstein files on my desk. We're good to go. You know what Pam Bondi is saying today, over the weekend, I should say? She goes, I didn't know that the FBI and the Southern District of New York was sitting on thousands of files regarding Jeffrey Epstein. What? How did you not know that? You're the
attorney general, right?
She's the current attorney general of the country.
Yeah.
Was the head lawyer in charge of the state of Florida where Epstein lived.
So what wasn't the file sitting on her desk or whatever?
She thought that was everything. And then when she put it out and saw the backlash, she was like, well, I didn't know that the FBI and the Southern District of New York were holding out on me. How did you not know that? How did you think 140 documents were the end all be all of the Epstein? Like, are you living under a fucking rock? No, because she did know. And she wanted to score some cheap press points, and she said all this stuff, and now she's got egg on her face, which is very expensive, by the way.
True.
Because
remember last week? Go back a couple episodes to last week or the week before when you were like, "Oh, they're going to release the Epstein files." I was like, sure, let's see it. I'll believe it when I see it." And what happened?
You never believed it from.
I didn't believe it for a second. They released less information than what was released during the Biden administration.
We are all now more stupid for the documents released than when before she started.
They redacted more stuff and said, here's less information. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Do we have a bigger asshole in the country right now than Pam Bondi? Because I feel like she's the biggest asshole we have. Of course, except for J Sabs. J Sabs is always a leading asshole in the country.
I could think of one bigger.
Oh my God, Frank, you're so angry. I wish I could just give you a hug through the screen.
I'd like to give you a hug too. I feel like you're very angry at Trump.
You keep bringing it up. Stop bringing it up. I won't be angry.
Okay,
he needs to go to a rub and tug.
Oh, would you like a quick?
Every time with you.
Well, you probably just. I'm. It sounds to me like you haven't done the old Trump hate and bang just yet, but it's coming. So, Aaron, watch out.
Does it weird you out that Janine fantasizes about you having sex so much?
It's like every time. I don't know what's going on. You have
It's gonna be a long 12 years.
you have
Frank,
like a journal where you draw pictures of me, and I mean, it's like what is
Frank,
going on over there?
I'd be offended if I
Gonna
were
be a
you.
long 12 years.
Are you saying with a JD 8-year run?
Hell yeah.
Oh God forbid.
I'd be. Oh, what? Go ahead.
I just meant any Republican, basically.
No, Frank, I would be worried if I were you. If it wasn't for the fact that I think Janine thinks about all of our friends having sex this much and what drives us.
I mean, okay, whatever filled your day, I guess.
Yeah.
Clearly, we know what drives Frank. What drives you, Anthony? Oh, I already know. Forget it. I already know. New
Dave
Croc
Matthews.
ad. New mention of Dave Matthews at Jones Beach.
Dave Matthews, the Islanders, music that nobody's ever heard of.
Crocs.
Stop it.
Rocks. A beard. Pretty much it.
I asked Cuddles. I was up here and Cuddles was downstairs, and I texted her like, "What do you want to do for dinner?" And she responded. Let me see if I can. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't know.
Do you use the same shampoo on your beard that you do on your head?
Sometimes. Yeah.
You just bring it right around.
Yeah. Just I hit the whole thing.
You do a big round the go around the horn.
Well, I have an elephant shower. Somebody comes in and sprays me down like an elephant. Cuddles, I said to Cuddles, "What's the plan for dinner?" She says, "I have pesto chicken. I'm gonna put in the air fryer." And my response was, "Oh shit, my dick just got hard." So also pesto chicken. Add that to pesto chicken is delicious. You ever have some pesto? Pesto is great on everything.
You kind of ruined it for me now.
I'm a big fan of pesto. I'll tell you what my favorite new slice is. We got a pizza place around here that they do red sauce, marinara,
Vodka sauce and pesto. Yeah, it's done. It's over with.
Is that because I'll tell you, is it? Did I miss the trend?
Wait.
Because I love this.
You did.
I love it.
What is it? 3 sauces? 3 different sauces?
Yeah,
Three sauces.
Not mixed together on like a
correct.
Each on its like little part on the pizza.
Are they touching? Yeah. Are they all stacked up?
No, they're like next to each other, like in a line.
Yeah.
Like they'll do a line of vodka, a line of marinara, and a line of pesto. Now, Janine, let me ask you this. Because this place that I go to does the fresh mutts sliced and underneath all the sauce. So it's bread, it's pizza dough, mutts, and then all the sauces on top.
No, this place that I go to, it does the fresh mozzarella on top.
See?
What is that called?
Layer on the bottom. I don't know. I call it a tricolor pizza.
Over here.
Trifecta?
Trifecta? All right.
I call it the tricolor pizza, and then the guy corrected me, and I looked at him and said, "I don't care for that, and I'll never come in here ever again if you keep this up."
Now, do you try to get all the sauces in each bite, or do you go to this one, then that one, then this one, and that one?
I put a blindfold on, and then
just have at it.
Surprise every time. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting, but I love it.
Interesting. Now, do you put toppings on that? Like you throw pepperoni or mushrooms or whatever, or is it just
like pepperoni on pizza?
Here's my theory on pepperoni. It would be more. It's the number one topping, right? I feel.
Yes, and why is what I'd like to know.
But I feel like it would be better if you took each slice of pepperoni and cut it into quarters. Because every time I eat a pepperoni slice, I end up getting a huge piece of pepperoni, and it ends up not getting. You know what I mean? It doesn't get into the whole bite. For some reason, it's too big of a piece. And I end up either pulling off a whole piece of pepperoni that's sticking out of my mouth. It's just that the slices are too big. If we cut them up, you put little like pepperoni confetti all over the pizza, then I'm in. You just cut the pepperoni slice into quarters, little triangles, and I'm in because make them little tiny bite-sized ones.
Peppa-fetti? Is that what you're saying?
Fetteroni.
All right. Now that's good. Our own Pam Bondi bird has redacted the 3 sauces.
You see?
Yeah. Nobody say what it is now.
What's the 2-letter one?
You don't want to know.
Okay.
A Z job. What was I going to say? Anyway, that's my favorite pizza. I was going to go somewhere else with this. Now I don't know. I want to get to the Oscar thing because you talked about Janine hit on something, the whole sexual thing, and I want to bring up something. But quickly, let's do Jay-Z here, very very fast. So Tony Buzbee is the lawyer that is suing the ever-loving crap out of Diddy, and he also brought the lawsuit against Jay-Z that he then subsequently dropped because his client wanted to drop it, right?
Right.
And now Jay-Z is suing Tony Buzbee in an Alabama court, claiming that Buzbee and the victim, the alleged victim, I should say, I have to say, caused him to lose at least $20 million. According to Jay-Z's lawyer, David Fortney, the accusations were soullessly motivated in greed, in abject disregard of the truth, and the most fundamental precepts of human decency. Buzbee brought Jay-Z into it. Doe allegedly admitted, according to the court filing here, this is a Jane Doe who Jay-Z is suing for malicious prosecution, abuse of process, civil conspiracy, and defamation. So Jay-Z is really going to town on this person and Tony Buzbee because I guess it cost him $20 million at some point. I guess he's got to prove that too.
That's crazy.
It's a bold move, and I don't know if it's the move of an innocent person who's pissed, because it kind of sounds like it, or if it's the move of somebody who just has a shit ton of money, is going to force, his way back into the hearts of America by making it look like he's an innocent person. I really just don't know.
I mean, that's fuel enough for hopefully the victim to be like, lawsuit back on. Let's go.
I guess we'll find out. We'll see what happens. It's something that we've been keeping our eye on. Craziest Oscar moment from the Oscars last night. You want to do it at the...
Oh, God, it was so fucking boring. Oh, my God.
Okay, I guess we'll do it at the end. You thought it was boring, Ginny? Did you watch the whole thing?
I did not. I even told him, we don't have to watch this. Let's put something else on. That's how boring it was. Usually I try to stick it out, but it was boring.
Yeah, I thought Conan was great. There was a couple of fun moments. I thought Ben Stiller was brilliant in his little bit about the malfunctioning set design. He gave away like best set design or something, and then the set actually was malfunctioning. There was like this lift thing that didn't go up all the way, so you had to kind of
that's funny.
It was really, really funny. If you're gonna watch highlights, watch Ben Stiller. He was good.
I can't believe I didn't come across that one. I didn't watch the Oscars live. As it was happening, I'd see clips, I'd see stuff being posted on Twitter or whatever, and the winners and the speeches and stuff, but I didn't come across the Ben Stiller one.
The Ben Stiller one was good. There was an old lady who was in every fucking thing, and she went out
with Squibb.
Yes, thank you.
That was a funny one. That was a funny moment.
She's like, I'm being played by Bill Skarsgård.
That was perfect. That was great. There's a movie she was in recently that she's the star of the whole movie, and she was great. Oh, I can't remember it, but
Selma?
Yes, thank you, hon. Yes, where she plays a woman who was taken advantage of by like a scammer on the phone, like someone that it sounded like her grandson was in trouble and needed money to get out of jail for bail or something, and they used some kind of voice thing to sound like her grandson, and she was taken for like 10 grand or something.
Oh,
She goes on this like Taken-esque, but an older person's version to get her money back. It was pretty good. June Squibb, very underrated.
So it was like Taken with Icy Hot, a lot of Icy Hot.
A lot of Icy Hot, a couple of rascals thrown in there. It was good.
AARP memberships.
A couple of those, yeah.
I thought that Kieran Culkin was great as always, but did anybody else find it a little messed up that he did not thank his brother for which
I know
he would not be here? Yeah.
He
told this hilarious story about getting his wife to give him a fourth kid. She's like, oh, when you win it was a very funny little anecdote. Thanked his parents, his wife, his representation, the people in the movie. Didn't go, oh, and my brother Macaulay, of which I would not be anywhere near an acting stage or studio without.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some say Fuller was the star of Home Alone.
Fuller was great. I don't think Fuller winds up on that call sheet without Macaulay being there first.
Well, you know what? I don't think that they're actually close, right?
Well, Macaulay said today, there's an article today that Macaulay cried. He was like, I cried when my brother won. Yeah. So,
and he was there. He was at the Oscars, right? Macaulay.
I don't know. You know what? I didn't see. Let me see here.
He was on the red carpet. I don't know if it was for maybe an Oscars thing or how they have those secondary red carpets that happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But he was definitely on the red carpet with his wife. I feel like he was. I thought he was there. I thought he was at the Oscars.
Let me see here. He was at the Vanity Fair post-Oscar party.
Oh, all right.
I don't know if he was at the Oscars itself. He may well have been.
Interesting.
He did a really touching tribute to Macaulay years ago.
Frank, you sound different.
I remember.
You didn't know Aaron was here?
No.
I've said a couple. Anyway, hi guys. And I just remember he was talking about how his dad was a real, show dad. He just wouldn't. And he said, whatever I got 1/10 of, he calls him Mac. He's like, of what Mac got. And I always realized that if Mac was going to stop, it was going to be me. And he's like, I just was always grateful to him that he just kept doing it because he knew that too. The dad was just going to put the next Culkin in and it was going to be me. And he was just like, I'm always very grateful to him. And
wow.
I thought that was always really sweet.
So you're saying Kieran historically thanked Macaulay, but what I'm saying is he didn't thank him last night, and if we've learned anything in the last 72 hours, it's you've got to constantly thank people.
All I'm saying is there is on record of him being grateful.
I think Kieran and Macaulay's dad said, yeah, but you didn't thank him today during this meeting is what Kieran's dad was screaming. That's what I heard.
They yelled him out of
or did he thank his mom? Because on the Globes, he thanked his mom.
Oh, did he? I don't know.
I got to rewatch these. I don't remember.
I forget. I thought it was really cool, though, Robert Downey, to give it to him. I thought that was really a nice moment. Robert Downey's cool as shit. Okay. The weird thing that you didn't see, let's start with the lighter thing. Apparently, Chelsea Handler and Ralph Fiennes were getting...
saw this.
Wait, Ray Fiennes? I thought it's Ralph Fiennes.
It's spelled Ralph, but it's Rafe.
Oh, Rafe?
Rafe Fiennes.
Right.
Yep.
Well, listen, if he wants to be called Rafe, it's time to pull that L right out of there, okay? Because you're confusing the shit out of everybody. I should talk. I have a silent letter in my last name. Anyway, Chelsea Handler and Rafe Fiennes, they were all she had her arm around, he had his arm out and she had her arm hooked into his at the Oscar after party, and people are starting to wonder if the two of them are dating.
Probably just banging.
I'm concerned about this because I feel like Rafe Fiennes is very delicate, and I feel like I don't know if he's up for the level of what Chelsea Handler brings to a fucking,
He can't handle the handler.
I don't think he can.
I thought he was married. If you asked me, is Rafe Fiennes married? I would have said, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I have no idea.
He's an old man. Yeah, he's like an old man. And she's up there in age too, but she seems very, she was with 50 Cent. She was with Joe Coy that we know of. She's very open about how many people I just feel like she is strong and intense, and he just looks like a little delicate flower.
I don't know. He's Voldemort. He's
I guess so. But you know how I would never hit a woman? I would never hit Ray Fiennes. I would feel just as bad. I
think Ray Fiennes could kick your ass.
I don't think so. I really don't think that. He just seems very, I don't know. I feel like I could drop Ray Fiennes quick.
I don't know.
Was he the bad guy in Schindler's List?
He was.
He was terrifying in that.
He was terrifying in Schindler's List, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt he's had some scary roles, but if you look at him now, he looks like the old. He looks like he looks like an
Oh,
old
he's
man.
not a young man anymore. I mean, he's
Yeah.
older. Sure.
Jay Sabs, you're the world's foremost authority on old men. How attractive is Ray Fiennes?
Oh yeah.
He could get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also feel like I'm just saying Ray Fiennes now.
That's
You're
fine.
not alone.
Just put them together. You're good.
Okay.
You say it fast. It's like one word.
That's what I thought it was, because if you look at it, it's spelled Ralph Fiennes. So,
Right.
All right.
Doesn't he have a famous brother too? All right.
Did he?
What's his
he
name?
wasn't Joseph, but he's not
Joseph
in one.
Fiennes.
Oh, no, wait. He was in The Handmaid's Tale. But before that, he was in Shakespeare in Love and Elizabeth, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
Joseph Fiennes is his brother, another actor.
He forever will be in Quiz Show to me. That is it. Like, I know that was like 40 fucking years ago, but do you remember the Quiz Show movie?
Yeah, he was. I don't even remember him in that.
He played the scholar. Wasn't he the scholar? Oh, shit.
Nope.
Maybe it's his brother.
Joseph?
No,
Oh, right.
you're right. You're right.
Is
all
it?
right.
It was okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's
all you know him from?
That's all I will ever think about that man from. That he will forever be from that movie to me.
You need to watch more movies, dude.
No, please, you get watch Curb before you can get on my tail for
That's
that
TV.
Kind of stuff.
That's different.
Okay,
Actually, it's not TV. It's HBO.
It's HBO. TV. Okay. Craziest Oscar moment. Here it was backstage after the Oscars when Halle Berry goes up and gives a full-on tonguer.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I saw
Oh,
this.
yeah, I saw that too.
Fucking Adrian Brody. Everybody watch this if you haven't seen it. There she is. She apologizes to his wife who's standing a foot away and then kisses Adrian Brody full on.
Well, you know why, right?
Yeah, now I know there was a kiss between the two of them at the Oscars years ago.
Yeah, what happened was Adrian Brody won the Oscar. He handed it to him on stage when he came up to accept the award. Halle Berry was up there to give him the statue, and he just grabbed her and kissed her on stage out of nowhere, and like made out with her for like 3 seconds or 4 seconds, whatever it was. And that was a huge
Sailor and the Nurse. You know
what's that? Yes,
dipped her like that Sailor and the Nurse.
Exactly, dipped her down and kissed her. So this was like remember that moment? Like he kissed her. Now it's she kissed him as like a throwback to that.
I don't care for it. I don't like it.
Why?
The wife is right there. She's
her
right
husband
there.
Her husband was right there. I don't know. You know what to tell you.
Was Halle Berry with anybody at the time? Because I would say that is a form of sexual harassment, if you ask me, on the part of Adrian Brody.
Well, where were you when Adrian? That's the thing. That was the big controversy of it all. Was he just did that, and nobody said a word. But now she did it to him as a little bit of not a payback, because I think they're friends and stuff, but as like if you could do it, I could do it kind of a thing.
I love Adrian Brody, but I lost the look.
That's not me.
No, I know. We know that.
Nobody thought it was you, Aaron. Nobody thought.
What is that? That's not me.
That's definitely you.
Okay.
I just feel like Janine is out there with a broom, just going.
I feel like she's playing shuffleboard with her phone.
That would make sense.
Launching.
It makes sense. She's at a retirement community. Yeah,
that's true.
Hey, what do you think I'm doing? Slowly slipping at hot toddy.
What was I going to say? Now you fucked me up with hot toddy.
Halle Berry, Adrian Brody.
Oh, I love Adrian Brody, but I'm a little weirded out by the whole thing. I do think it's one thing to do it on the telecast versus doing it and on stage versus doing it not on the telecast after the show and right in front. I would never have the balls to do what Halle Berry. I get the revenge move. It's cute.
Well, it'd be interesting to know.
To do that.
Well, if your only hang up is that the wife is there, which is a big hang up, then it would be interesting to know if Holly Berry was with someone or married when Adrian Brody did it.
I would love to know that. Do we know that? Does anybody know that?
I don't know that.
He's not married.
I'm sorry?
He's not married.
Oh, so there you go.
Adrian Brody's not married, or she's not married?
No, he's not married.
Oh, okay.
You see the size of his nose? Good lord.
He's dating
that means only one thing.
Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife.
I did
there you
hear
go.
that. What does a big nose mean? I don't understand. I know it's sexual.
Nothing.
But, okay. Who's Halle Berry with? Is she with anybody?
That I don't know.
Yeah, well, whatever. I guess it's what's good for the goose kind of a thing.
I
The
don't
old
know.
switcheroo.
Not that I would ever be in this position, but could you imagine what Cuddles would do if we were put into these roles? Like Halle Berry would be holding ice on her bloody nose, and that would have been the story today. Like people don't play like that. I don't know what's going on with Hollywood.
It's a weird thing, but again, he did it to her years ago, and I'm sure if she was on stage again, or if she was receiving the award and he was giving her the statue, she would have done it then. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that
I get it.
You had the opportunity there, I guess.
Because Erin just said he's dating, or Janine, I can't remember, one of the women. You know, they all look the same to me, Frank.
Wrong with you.
No, but I legitimately can't remember who said this 4 seconds ago.
Erin said that he's dating Harvey Weinstein's.
Thank you.
Yeah, Erin said that.
Okay, Erin, thank you. So clearly he was not with this particular woman when he kissed Holly Berry, right?
Right.
So we have Erin and Janine here. And my question is, if that's your situation, the roommate and Frankie C, and some woman comes up because of something that happened prior to your getting together, and she's like, sorry, but I owe him, I got to do this. What would your response be? I'd love to honestly know. Let's go with Janine first, because I don't know why.
Wait, say that again?
Okay.
I'll be in the other room.
If some woman...
Call me in when this explanation's over.
What? Say it again.
If some woman kissed my husband,
came up and kissed the roommate because of something that happened before you got together, and was like, sorry, I got to do this, and it was all in fun and games, how would you feel, and what would you do?
I'd immediately try to find the hottest guy in the room and do the same thing.
Oh, see, that's her. See, Janine knows how to really fucking hurt somebody. That's really... Because I thought you would say I'd punch her in the throat or something because it's not his fault, but you are immediately taking it out on him, which is like the most harsh response you could possibly have.
You know me, I'm fucking...
Janine's so fucking hardcore. She is so fucking hard. By the way, Janine on a previous episode said, I never forget who I hate. I keep a list of people I hate. So many people sympathized with her, and they were like, yeah, me too. I fucking hate a lot of people, and I keep a list.
A physical list, like you have it written out?
No,
it's a mental list.
It's a mental list.
All right.
The mentalist.
Janine, who reached out the next day?
Yeah. Oh, good question.
Me.
Gonna say, Erin, I think she's probably like, oh, maybe she said that. She just said that for the pod, like this is what I'm thinking in my head. Am I right, Erin?
No, I wanted to know how many there were and how many did I know.
Oh, I thought you reached out because you thought you were on the list. I was like, what did you do?
I honestly didn't think I was, but I was just like, how many are there and how many do I know? And it ends up
right.
Yeah.
Look at Erin just there for the gossip. Give me the list, girlfriend. Let's get a fucking espresso martini and talk this out.
I mean, it is true.
Now I'm curious. How big is the list? Yeah, tell us.
God.
Is it like over 10?
Oh, maybe we should guess first, Frank. You want to put a guess in?
Well, I don't know.
Price is right rules. Price is
I mean,
right
Janine,
rules.
you have a specific number in your head, or is it like it's about this many people?
Good question.
It's about this many people. If you really would like me to sit down and write it down, then I could do that.
Okay.
So
all right,
do you think? So Janine, do you think it's more than 10?
No. You can't ask leading
No?
questions.
I
You
didn't think
got.
we would. Okay, I thought we were just gonna get. Are we playing a game? Okay.
We're playing a game. Me, you, and the AOA holes. I'm going to disqualify Erin because I'm assuming she was told.
No, she. Did I tell you, Erin, how many?
Yes. Yes.
I told you how many you knew, though.
Yeah. You told me a number, but I mean, do you want to go off that number, or do you want to have your new number that now that you've tallied and thought about it more? I don't know.
That's a good question because
Yeah. No, new number. I want the whole what you think it is.
you want me to do this right now.
Yeah, well, you just rough
Approximate.
estimate. What Frank said. Yeah, rough estimate, like what the number you think it is. I have a
Alright,
guess.
give me a minute.
Okay, I have a guess. Frank, do you have a guess?
Yeah, I got it. I think I have a guess.
Everybody should put it in the live chat right now. What your guess is for the amount of people that I'm going to write it down. The amount of people that roughly that
and her,
Janine hates.
her, him.
Now, does this include people you don't know, famous people, or is this just personal?
This is people I know.
It's all people you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I've written my number down. Frankie, see, I don't know if you have a pen and paper.
I didn't write it down. I don't have
Fair, it's not a game night, so I don't expect you to have it.
By the way,
Okay.
when I say people I know, I'm also including people I've had an encounter with, but maybe not know them, but I still hate them and will recognize their face if I ever see them.
Was that Oscar winner Kieran Culkin?
Paul guessed 150,000.
That's a pretty good guess.
He's about right.
Wait, no, that's Kerry Cullinan. Very close.
Oh, okay. That's very close.
Okay, so,
I need new glasses, I think.
Not your fault. When AI creates
I
a
also
Kieran
hate that
Culkin,
one.
it comes out Karen Cullinan, so you're okay.
Anyway. Let's see,
17
what's my
from
number?
Mountaintops, 32 from Mercury.
So this is people that you don't talk to anymore. Some that you do, probably, right? Or
Yes.
okay, there are some people that you are in your life that you still. Now this is hate, right? This is like you hate them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is hate.
Wow.
I don't think it takes a lot to get to hate, though, for Janine.
All right.
Why
Like,
do you
you still have
hold a
to-
grudge? Oh,
That's
it's
one-
not someone else.
That's one area where I will say Janine and I are very similar, where we can get to hate quickly. Like, I remember how quickly I switched to hate for Meghan Markle. It was literally like the drop of a
Yeah,
hat.
but that's
Yeah,
like
you don't
one
like-
person for you. Her and Jada Pinkett Smith, I think, are your two.
Oh, don't like Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah,
Oh, I'm not going to include her, but I do hate her. I do
yeah.
hate
Yeah, this is people you know. This is people that you. These are not famous people.
Yeah.
Not famous people I know, and also
Alright.
people, like I said, I've had an encounter with.
Okay, let
Alright.
me ask you a question, because I think, as Frank's reading his answer, I feel like I hate a lot of strangers that I don't know. Are you including those people? Like, I'll get into the supermarket and I won't leave without going, that fucking person on aisle 3 was a real problem, and I do not like them.
Yes, I will include people like that, but as I'm thinking, the number is growing.
Yeah, then I'm going to change my number then, because if that's the case, I got to change my number.
Yeah, like people
I'm
who've
looking
left
for a
people
Got
who've
it.
left an impression on me.
Right. Okay. And how old are you? You're at least 52, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Because that's been a lot of years then that you've been having encounters with people. All right. Now I'm going to
I
change
will-
my...
I got it. I got a number. I don't know if I'm. See,
Okay.
this is tough because this is your whole life. People throughout your entire life.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I also have a good memory. I don't forget anything. So
But and also, can I say this too? Probably lasting impression. So there's probably people you hated in the grocery store, but they didn't make that lasting impression on you that would be on this list.
correct.
Yeah, it's not going to be someone that cut you off driving. It's going to be someone
No,
you
no, no.
interacted with and you know their name. Let's say, right?
Oh yeah, that just brings me to my.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I need to rein this in. All right. Because
My point is, go ahead.
in the original clip, Janine said, "These are the people that I hate," and then you said, "I know their names, I know their mother's names, I know their sister's names, and I know their brother's names." So if we're gonna go by those rules, Let's not have the guy in aisle 3 that took too long at the deli.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless it was something that was life lasting.
Okay, no, it's not
Unless their whole family was there at the deli and you learned all their names.
Good point.
exactly.
Guys, what did I say?
All right, I'm gonna put my. I got it now. This is.
Are we holding up the numbers right after she says it?
I'm gonna tell Aaron. Wait,
No,
Aaron.
don't tell Aaron.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Don't cheat and tell Aaron.
I have the number, but in micro. Go ahead.
I'm not playing.
No, you can't. Yeah, exactly. Aaron's not playing because she knows.
Yeah, but you could. So that meaning she could be told the number.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell her the number.
How's she gonna tell her the number?
Text
What do
it
you
to
mean
her.
how?
Oh, text. Okay. All right, I have a number. I got my number written down. You have your number written down?
I have my number written.
Okay. All right, Jay Subs. We're ready when you are.
All right. As of right now, because this could change overnight, and if now that I'm fired up, it is 16 people.
Oh my God.
That's
Man, how much hate do you think I have?
A lot. Well,
23 people worth.
I originally wrote 29, so I should have stayed with my original.
My original guess was going to be 15.
You know what's funny? It's probably going to go up. It will, because I'm going to be like in the 3:30, wake up and be like, oh, I fucking hate when she did that.
Well, wait.
Just so
Paul
you know.
said Paul guessed
23.
150,000. So can we make that 17 then?
That's pretty close.
She
Alright.
told me 10.
Yep. And the
Yeah.
number has gone up since then because I thought
6
of
people since the other day.
Yeah, I thought one of them was new yesterday, actually.
Oh, what'd they do to get on the list?
It was an extremely rude customer service person at
Oh, but you don't know them.
supermarket. Oh no, I found them on Facebook. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Are you
I was
serious?
gonna say this is part of it. She does research. She researches after the fact.
And the best part about it is, I just real quick, this woman was so rude to me at Lidl. Like I couldn't even. I thought maybe I looked around. Like, am I on camera? This can't be true. This can't be true.
You were face to face with her. This wasn't over the phone.
No, this was in person.
At
Okay.
Lidl? People are nice at Lidl.
Oh, except for this one.
Okay.
For people who don't know, Lidl is a supermarket over here.
Right.
With only one vowel in it in the name. Go ahead.
Lidl.
I'll just say this. Kim at the bleep location is getting a bag of dicks in a few days. I'll just say that. Okay.
Where are you getting the dicks?
It's like gummy bears that are in shape of
Oh.
penises because she is a horrid human being.
Wow. What did she do to you?
Okay. So listen, I get people have bad days all the time, right?
Well, I'm sorry, Jenny. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the people are just jumping on board with the people are so happy to say Aldi is better than Lidl in the live chat. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, well, maybe that was my first mistake going there.
And don't sue us. We're not shitting on Lidl. Lidl is a fine establishment.
It is, and that's why I'm upset that this happened. So, okay, yesterday was very cold, right?
Yes.
For me to say it's cold, it was cold out.
Okay. True.
So I go to this one location, which I don't really go to this specific one a lot, but it was on my way home, so I said, let me go. Looking around, there are no carts, right? And I'm like, okay. So I go in the store, and sometimes they have carts in the stores.
Mhm.
So I go there's no customer service desk. There is just like by the bag your own, there's a customer service person. So I went up to her. I'm like, hi. She wouldn't look at me. I said, hi, do you have any carts in the store? Like, do you have any extra carts? She goes, no, they're all outside. They're all in the cart rack. And I'm like, no, actually, there's none in there. And even from where I parked, I didn't see any around. And she's like, you mean to tell me that every cart is being used by someone in the store? I was like, my mouth was open. I was like,
Wow.
I was like,
That's not what I'm saying, but okay.
that's not what right. I was like, all I'm asking if there's any carts. And then I see 2 carts next to this cashier, like behind her. And one was pretty full, and the next one was like a 2-tier cart with like 4 things in it. So I said, "Oh, can I use that one?" She goes, no, you can't use it. It's being used. That's why it's over there." Not one moment did she make eye contact with me or even look up.
Now I have to ask: did she say it the way you're saying it?
Yes, she
Well,
did.
with the little mustard on it?
Yeah, a little attitude. I was like, I can't. This can't. I'm like, I am not even. I there's no reason for this. So I I was like, okay. I said, She goes, "Well, you could use the kids' carts, but you know." And I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm using that because there's no other ones."
That's a little insulting.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So then, as pastor, I go, "Fucking bitch!" I was so mad. You don't understand. I was so mad. But you know what? She was so old. She probably didn't hear me. So then I see this guy. He was obviously a manager. I said, "Excuse me, you the manager?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Good. Just to let you know, that woman over there I put my hands in quotes, customer service."
Oh, you air quoted the manager?
Nice.
Yeah. Quotes, customer service. I said, "She's extremely rude." I said, maybe she should take a course on on how to treat people in a public setting." I went off. And he's like, "What happened?" So I told him, and he's like, "Well,
Janine, are we going to see you on YouTube under like
oh yeah."
Karen?
No, he's like, "Well, all the carts aren't being used." I said, "I know." I said, "I'm just wondering if I asked was if there was one in the store, and then I saw one that had hardly anything in it, and if I could use it. And now I'm carrying around this dumb little kid's one." And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But you could see he didn't care either. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I said, "You know what?
That's the worst.
Now I'm going to corporate now. Now I'm
You
going to
got
corporate."
you're going to get half that store fired.
So now I go back to like the bag you're on, and the lady, she's up there, and then she leaves. So I was like, fuck, I didn't even get her name. So I went up to the guy, I go, "Excuse me, the woman that was just here, what was her name?" So he's like, "Oh, her name was blah." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." So last night I went on the Lidl website, fired up a nice email. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because here's the point. I didn't ask anyone to get a cart for me. That's not what I was looking for. I
No.
want just to know if there was an extra cart in the store.
Right.
But she was so nasty. So what I did was when I left, I took a picture of the cart rack with 0 carts in it for proof. So you know what? Fuck around and find out. Not with me.
I like that. I like
Boom.
that.
Damn.
Can I tell you something? They would have never treated you this way at Aldi's. I'm just gonna say that. Mercury says next time go to Aldi's, and Mercury's right.
Are there even? I don't even know where Aldi's is. Is there an Aldi's?
You go to
anywhere?
Aldi's, Frank, and they go, "There's 6 carts here. Which one would you like? We just polished them. We tuned up the wheels so they're not crickety. It's amazing. The whole place is unbelievable.
That
Right.
sounds like a dream.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream.
Go ahead.
So you wheeled around the kid cart?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, she was
And-
laughing at you. She was like, "Look at
No,
this asshole. Look at what."
some woman who had seen me ask for the cart, she saw me later and she started laughing. I go, "I know." I said, "It's ridiculous. I can't even get." She's like, "But why couldn't she give you that cart? It didn't have anything in it really." I said, "I know." She goes, "Some people are just miserable with their lives." And I go, "Yeah, exactly. Exactly." So I didn't want to say in front of her granddaughter, and some people just need to get fucked. But I didn't want to say that in front of her.
Yeah, that's
But I
probably
did
better
go
you
on
didn't say that.
I did
Good
go on a
move.
tirade after I called my mother, and I'm like, "This woman probably hasn't been fucked in 15 years. That's why she's pissed." And my mother was just hysterical laughing. So
It's the worst when you go to the authority figure and you explain, and they're just like, they give you that look back, like, I don't give a shit what this is.
Yeah.
That's the worst fucking feeling.
You use the baskets. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, that's terrible.
well, the thing is, it's like, no, they don't even have baskets in the store.
Just kid carts.
Yeah, and I'm like, but you could just tell. it's a different vibe in that store. The one I usually go to, they would never do that. Okay, never.
You were on a foreign territory.
Yes.
Lidl. You weren't at your home turf, Lidl.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, that can happen when you go travel.
God, now I'm fired up again. I just cannot. And you know what? Now I want to go to this one every single day and look at this lady in her face and carry around a kid's cart just to, I don't know, just to fuck with her. So
I feel like that would mess with you more than her.
I don't, oh man, I was so mad. I really was. I know I took with that PMS. So there you go.
This sounds like a Seinfeld episode to a degree.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many salads did you take for revenge?
How many what?
Good question. How many salads did you steal for revenge? I'm going to say 6.
I'll say.
You know what I did was I took all the meat. 23. I took all the meat out of the fridges and then just left it by the chips.
Nice.
Oh,
nice. She took all the packets out of the clothing in the middle aisles there, so that they'll go stale.
In 5 years, they'll be noticeably musty.
No, I have not had luck with grocery stores lately at all. Did I tell you what happened with the meat last week?
No. Did you return meat? Is this I returned meat story? Because I get enough of that from my mother. I can't.
No, I had. Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
I had to return this meat because it was gray when I opened it. Okay.
Just
Right.
Anthony is. Is this a return meat story? Because I get that a lot. No. So I had to return this meat. What the fuck?
all right. Tell us about the gray. Well, you didn't see it was gray when you bought it.
It was in a vacuum sealed bag.
Oh, so you couldn't see it?
Well, no, I don't know what happened, but I
The
opened the
vacuum pump.
bag. Now I opened the bag and it smelled a little. It didn't smell bad, but meat doesn't smell good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it smelled a little off, and I said, let me season it with some, spices, whatever, right, for the grill.
This was a Seinfeld episode too.
No. I
Remember when Frank made that food for the army? And
Right.
I think if I can add a few spices, I'll be able to save it.
Right. But I always add spices when I make steak, right?
He went home with a crater in his colon the size of a cutlet.
Oh, God.
All right, good. I'm sorry.
So I went to go grill it. I opened the fridge. I look at the bag. I'm like, oh, if you make this meat, you're going to kill your husband and yourself. Like, it doesn't look good.
So she made it and fed it to him. Story's over. That's it.
I'm like, yeah, he's done.
What kind of meat was it?
It was a ribeye steak. And it was gray.
Damn.
Mm.
I FaceTime my mother. I'm like, just tell me, does this ever happen? She's like, as soon as she saw it, she goes, oh, what happened to that meat? And I'm like, oh, this ain't good. This ain't good. I got to return this. So I returned
You took a picture?
I don't think I did. I returned it later on, and I said to the girl, listen, I said, I don't want to gross you out, but I don't think I have good meat in here. So I took it out of the bag, and her mouth was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. So at Stop and Shop, if you return bad meat, they refund you double your money.
Really?
Double your money?
Yep, because they don't want to ever do that. So, and obviously,
Was there a date on it? Was the date off?
No, the date was 3 days after it expired. 3 days after I bought it. So that wasn't it either. So she's like, sometimes these packages get tiny holes.
Had to be it.
The cow must have whispered the wrong date when it was
Right.
being slaughtered.
That's true.
March 8th.
Oh man, that is gross. How many times a day do you call your mom?
I call her a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I do, but I'm also a girl and you're a boy, so it's totally different.
Good point. It is a good point.
It's a hell of an observation.
I called my mother today and I was like, I realized I haven't spoken to you in 14 days, so I thought I'd give you a call, see how.
Exactly.
I just checking in to make sure you're not pulling a Gene Hackman on me here. I just want to make sure you answer the phone.
This is my 2-week wellness check every 2 weeks.
Yeah, somebody goes, how could Gene Wilder go that long without somebody checking on him? I go, he's 95. Who wants to talk to him anymore? It's fucking over.
No, he probably doesn't
That's
even know
fucked
who
up.
he is.
That's true.
Not Wilder.
I'm sure he's got Gene Wilder stories though. You gotta get those.
Did I say Gene Wilder instead of Gene Hackman?
Oh, Gene Hackman. Yeah, what the fuck are we talking about?
Oh, no,
I said it too. I didn't even correct you.
We did this for an hour and 24 minutes. We got to go. I'm tired. Anyway, A Different Man film review. This is, I don't know what I did to your wife, Frank, that she needed to entrap me into watching Sebastian Stan's penis.
What is this movie about?
All the time. This happens to me all the time. Every single time I like a show, the second I tell someone about it, the next episode is so bad. Frank will,
That's true.
every time I like a restaurant and I tell somebody, except for Frank, it closes. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. This was mid-movie. I was like 27 minutes in and I'm like, good movie. And then I write you guys on Discord. I'm like, this movie's pretty good. I unpause it and it gets so bad.
No.
All right, let me tell you what happened. And then we're going to do some spoilers. There's no spoilers yet. We'll tell you when. So Saturday night, I'm like, I go on Discord because I'm like, first of all, I had the greatest day Saturday. I fell asleep around 3:00 and woke up around 5:00.
Oh, must be nice.
Oh, after being up early, we're up early with the kids in sports. We had to run and do a bunch of mundane crap. Then I cleaned the garage out, did all this stuff. I got in, I had a nap, and I woke up so refreshed and feeling so great for Saturday night. There's nothing to do. The kids get put to bed. It's just me and cuddles. It's awesome. So I'm all refreshed. I feel great. We had a great dinner. I go on Discord. I go, who's got a funny movie? I want to watch something. So Erin writes back and she's like, it's not something like it's supposed to be funny, but it's not that funny, but it's a good movie. A different
it won, I think, for the Golden Globes for best comedy or musical for some reason.
Is that right? Okay. So whatever, but I got it. I wasn't expecting it to be downright hilarious. So I'm about to put it on when I'm like, oh, it's getting, so I did put it on and I started watching it, but I was like in the kitchen doing some things and I'm like, oh, it's really close to SNL. I want to watch Shane Gillis, so I'll watch it tomorrow. So I wound up watching it Sunday. And I'm watching it, and I think I texted Erin. I don't forget if I put it in it doesn't matter, Discord or wherever it was. I said to Erin, I'm like, I don't know about this movie. And she's like, oh, that movie sucks.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you were going to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I take your opinion seriously.
I know. That's your first problem. No, I'm just saying, but usually, from now on, I know to go through a movie or an entire show or a whole dinner before I recommend anything.
Before you say anything? Yeah, go home, Erin, go home and open up the meat package before you tell everybody about the sale at Lidl,
Right?
Oh my God.
What was it?
It was that bad though. I thought it was pretty good. I got to tell you, like I thought it was. Other than the fact, the gratuitous look at Sebastian Stan's penis, which was so
like a second.
It was so completely unnecessary. Frank, did you watch the movie?
No,
I didn't see the movie. No.
Okay, it was. Granted, it wasn't the amount of time as much as it was how completely unnecessary it was.
I'll give you that. But it really was. You're kind of acting like Stephen Hawking, where time bends, like as you get closer to like the black hole, because it was 1 second.
No,
it was 4 hours. It was a 4-hour movie. It was 4 hours of his penis. That's all it was.
I'll tell you what happened. And this is not a spoiler. See, I knew you'd like this, Janine.
I'm in.
There's an intimate scene. Something happens where he has to get up and check something in the other room. So the camera moves from the bed to the hallway. He's already walked out of the room. And the camera is just still on the hallway, right? Then he comes back into frame and the camera is penis height before it goes back up again to his face. I'm like, this was completely unnecessary. How did they convince him it's really important the camera is at this level when you walk back into the room?
So you wouldn't have said anything if it was, a beautiful woman walking in and it was boob height or
No, of course not,
you know,
because I like vagina. Why
that's
would
what
I
I'm
say
saying.
anything?
So
Yeah.
all the years of it being a woman gratuitously walking from room to room, and
Yeah.
you didn't say boo about it.
You can't use double standard argument on me. This is a complete
All
double
I'm saying.
standard. I'm just
My whole
saying.
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying, how do they convince even on a woman? Like I would have the same argument here. How would you convince that person? Like it's important that the camera's genital height when you come back in, and then we're
It's
gonna go
important for
back
the
up to
plot.
your. Yeah.
It's for the plot.
Like I get a long shot, you're seeing the whole room. He walks back in, you get peen. Okay, fine. But I'm telling you, it was a very tight shot in this specific area just to see his penis. The decent sized penis. I got to be honest with you. I was a little like, holy shit! Like, that's a decent sized penis. It was.
Yeah, let's see.
It was a decent sized penis.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, go take a look at it. See if that's on the internet.
If you see what was it? Sebastian Stan was also in that Tommy Lee, Pam Anderson one, and there's Wiener again. But it
He
was
showed Wiener there.
But it was like it was a fake one. It was a prosthetic one or something. So was
Mm.
it the same thing here? You think it was a prosthetic thing?
God, I hope so, because I really felt bad about myself. I told myself that's not real. I said that's CGI'd.
Yeah, it could have been. It was AI. It was an AI peen.
Yeah. Anyway, here comes some spoilers. I thought the movie was really interesting. I will say this.
Put the spoiler thing up. You have it?
I thought we had it. Hold on, let me see. Yes, we do have it. Okay.
Spoiler alert. Okay, we'll take it down when the spoilers are over. And I don't care. You can spoil it for me. I haven't seen the movie, but that's okay.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Unless, Aaron, do you want me to see it? Should I see it?
No.
All right, then go ahead. Sometimes
Aaron's like, I am not sitting through that again, despite the fact that it has delicious penis in it. I will not sit through it again.
That's not what I said. But
Delicious.
is it okay if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So here was my thing with the movie. Now, I know this is going to sound a little confusing, but I'm going to use their real names. So I knew there was somebody with this particular affliction in the movie, and his name is Adam Pearsall. I'm almost positive, but I can't look stuff up while I'm on this phone. So
yeah,
I think his name is Adam Pearsall. So when I watched the movie, the first maybe 1/3 to 1/3 of the movie is a man with this affliction, like neurofibrosis or something. And I thought that the first third of the movie, before he becomes Sebastian Stan, was this man.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I don't understand why Sebastian Stan won Best Actor for a comedy or musical. He's not in this movie. It's not funny and no one's singing. So why did he get it? And then I realized, so for people who haven't seen the movie and don't care about the spoiler, he gets like injections that will help him cure him of the growths on his face that take over his face in a rather huge way, and then they fall off, and he becomes Sebastian Stan. And I was like, and then later in the movie, Adam Pearsall comes in as a completely different person with the same affliction. So I didn't realize that Sebastian Stan was him in the first half. That made it very impressive because I loved that character. His name is Edward. I loved Edward in the first 1/3 of the film. Ever since he became normal, nothing made sense. It's like you have this beautiful ingredients. It's like, wow, what a wonderful thing to explore. A man who, for his whole life until he's 43, has this face that can barely be seen beyond growths. The way he was treated, the way he was stared at, the way he couldn't make a living besides anything as an actor in disability movies. And then he looks like Sebastian Stan, who is rather attractive and has a big penis. So why wouldn't they use that for a very convincing story? But instead, you saw what they did. They drove off the rails.
See, I had a different feeling for it because I think I wasn't fooled by you thought it was one thing and it was
Well, but the whole thing is, once he became Sebastian Stan, you think that he basically, people, again, more spoilers, he doesn't tell anybody that he's him. He tells the study that the guy died and he just tries to start over. And then he gets the woman that he was friends with while he had the growths on his face. She writes a play about him and he wants to play him, but he doesn't tell her that he's him. And then the man with the affliction is like, I would like to play him. And he's like, no, I want to play him. And it just feels so like, why did we explore this? This is so dumb.
See, okay, let me tell
And
you the
it's not
difference.
funny.
Let me tell you the difference between life perspective. I view this film way different from Erin because I've had a lot of things go really awry for me. I mean, really, like I empathize with this character a lot. And I don't think that you did because I don't think you've had that kind of, I don't know, misfortune, I guess would be the word.
You couldn't have had similar misfortunes to this man.
I wouldn't say similar, but it's very Costanza-esque. Where let me give you the
I feel like sympathy, but empathy?
Well, maybe sympathy. The Erin's right. So the movie starts where Sebastian Stan has got that. What'd you call it, Erin? She's got the real name for it. Anyway,
it's like neurofibrosis, I think.
So for people who don't know, like me, who would have to look it up, it looks like he got stung by a million bees on his face, and it was also burned at the same time. It's just like huge, just overgrown. Yeah, big lip. He's got a big hanging lip, lots of bumps on his neck, all that kind of stuff, right? Really ugly guy. And so it starts with, and I didn't read the description, but I did see like he's an actor. So the movie starts with he's in a scene, and you're thinking, oh, this must be a movie or something. When all it is it turns out to be like HR video for some job place that's like, hey, if your coworker's deformed, you got to be nice to them. Like that's what we find out later on. The movie is. So he's not really like an actor, but you could tell he wants to be an actor. So he finds out that there's this guy with this miracle drug that is potentially helping people like him. So he goes and takes it, and sure enough, his like face literally starts like melting off of him over the course like the next 20 minutes or a few days in the plot of the movie. So before his face melts off, he meets this neighbor who has just moved in, and she's a playwright, and she doesn't mind his face and strikes up conversations with him, hangs out with him, comes over his apartment. All this kind of, he cuts himself because she knocks on the door. He's cutting dinner. He cuts himself, and she runs and gets a first aid kit. They talk, and she bandages him up. All this crazy stuff. So he winds up getting like a completely normal face, and the doctor who gave him the medicine goes to see him, and it's Sebastian Stan's normal face version of himself now, and he's like, "Oh, that guy died," and so now the doctor's devastated because he's like, I wonder if my medicine killed. Like it was very, kind of like, oh, did my medicine kill him? Blah, 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 this and that. So he moves on and moves out of the building, moves away from the girl, becomes a real estate agent. And I forget, Erin, how did he find out about the play? He was just walking down the street and happened to see it?
He saw her and followed her. And then she walked into Edward rehearsals.
So he always had a love for her because of how nice she was to him, which nobody else was because they all treated him like a freak, right? So he finds her, he follows her, he finds out that they're auditioning for a play, and he winds up reading and then realizing she wrote a play about her love for him as the guy with the messed up face. So now he's like, oh, I need to play this part. I want to, now everybody else who's coming in has a real situation, whether it's that or something similar, a deformity of some sort. They're all auditioning because she wants to hire somebody like that. And he has this perfect face now. And he's like, no, you got to hire me, even though he can't tell her that it's him. And why was that? He? Yeah, why? There was a reason.
I don't understand that either. I don't understand why he couldn't just,
I think maybe other than the fact, Erin, you tell me if I'm wrong here, that he had to kill his former self to free himself from it all, maybe.
I get that. But what's strange is all he wants to do is play Edward. And for some reason, he's really bad at it.
Yeah, exactly. So he winds up getting the part. He finagles his way into getting the part. And they're rehearsing and they're starting. And meanwhile, somebody with the same affliction, the person who Erin was talking about before, he winds up stumbling into the theater because the casting director told him about it. And he's like, I feel like I need to play this role. So long story short, from that moment on, all things start going bad for Sebastian Stan. He eventually loses the part. He winds up losing the girl because now she's falling in love with the other guy, who's got the face affliction. it gets so bad that they have a fight, and part of the set winds up falling on Sebastian Stan, and he breaks his legs or his back or whatever it is. So now the other deformed face guy and the playwright girl are now banging each other, and they feel the need to take in Sebastian Stan as he's getting rehab. So he's sitting there, like the next scene, you see him sitting there, and the play then at this point becomes so popular as he's getting rehab that I can't remember the actor's name.
Shannon.
Michael Shannon. As Michael Shannon is eating dinner in their living room, talking about how they're going to turn the play into a movie, and he's going to play the role now. So now Sebastian Stan has to sit there, and Michael Shannon is kissing the other guy's ass, and the other guy's like, no, it was really Stan. And he's like, oh yeah, I want to talk to him too, but he's really just playing up to the guy with the deformed face because he's trying to learn,
So the jig is up. Sebastian Stan's been outed as the guy?
No, not yet.
No, the whole time. But the point is he fought so hard and did all this stuff to get away from that life with a deformed face, but everything started going to the other guy with the deformed face, and nothing was going right for him.
Is it okay if I take it from here?
Yes.
Because this is where it gets really crazy.
Yeah.
So he's getting rehab from a man, and this bearded man, and then the girl, I don't remember her name, and the man, Mike, Adam Pearson, they're like, we gotta go, good luck with your physical therapy, and they leave. And the bearded man says to Sebastian Stan, like, oh my God, like, how do you deal with that? Like, he looks so bad. So Sebastian Stan like beats the hell out of him and goes to jail.
No, he kills him. Doesn't he? He stabs him.
I thought he survived. All right, so he kills him.
He might have. You know what? You're right. He might have, because he would have been in jail for a lot longer. That makes it. But he stabs him in the chest with a knife.
And goes to jail.
I don't know. I think Anthony thought it was a comedy. So maybe.
No, honestly. And then at the end, did you catch at the end, Anthony, that he calls him Edward?
No. What do you mean he calls him Edward?
At dinner, at the very last scene, he says, what are you having, Edward? And he goes, and then the other guy says, oh, my dear friend, you haven't changed a bit. But the fact that he called him Edward apparently was not a mistake. It's the idea that in the trial, it came out who he is.
Oh, okay. You know what threw me? I couldn't understand why he looks at the other woman in the restaurant. Okay. All right. Because I thought that was really, for some weird reason, Frank, he looks over at this other woman who's sitting in the restaurant at the end, and it like zooms in on her, and she looks back at him, and then it just fades to black. Because the final scene is he's out of prison. And of course, who does he run into but Adam Pearson and the playwright? And they're old, and they've, they're like, why don't we go out to dinner for old time's sake? And that's when he calls him Edward, which I missed, but I couldn't remember why he looked at the other woman. Like I couldn't.
Was it he's starting his new life, kind of a thing? Like that could be his next love interest.
That's interesting that you should say that, Frank, considering you haven't seen the film and you got it more than I did. Because
I'm going off of your descriptions. I don't know.
And by the way, Anthony, your explanation made me laugh more than the movie did, because now I'm starting to get it. No, it's true. It's kind of unlocking it for me, because I thought it was tragic. But if you're looking at it from the fact that, good God, this man, like Costanza, to use your term,
he can't get anything right.
That is what it is.
Just real quick, because I didn't catch this, and I don't know if you did. The fact that when they're old and they're talking to Edward, they're talking about how they're going to stop talking to their kids and move to a nudist colony, and they're like, the kids are like, it's a cult, and they're like, yeah, it could be a cult, but we're gonna try it. And apparently that's when he found that nobody's perfect, and why is he chasing this lunatic? Like, why does he want his life? Like,
right.
And then he became more comfortable in his skin.
That makes sense.
And that's the end of the movie.
Well, that's what the whole movie's about. Like, he wanted this whole thing, and then he got out of it he was at the point where those people were going to go from freaks to become celebrated members of society. And he literally gets the cure to it right before that moment happens. And then he's chasing his dream that he always had anyway. Like, he still winds up chasing that dream, when if he would have just held on for a little while longer, he probably would have just gotten it on his own. you know. So it's a mistake in time, you know, kind of a thing. But to be fair, like Aaron goes, I'm laughing at your description of it. That's because it's a funny 3-minute story. When you stretch it out to an hour and 45-minute movie, it's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
You know, because it's an interesting premise and a wacky movie. I will say this too. I loved it. Had that weirdness of a old school independent New York movie.
I agree.
Like, right? Like when he was like walking on the streets and there's not great cinematography. There's not sleek looking shot. Like it's just a camera pointing at somebody. It's very gritty and very just realistic, you know, and normal looking, you know, like somebody shot it on an old iPhone or something. Like it's very like real, you know,
and the time jumps were not explained at all.
No, not really. Yeah, not really at all. Like I'll give you for instance, I literally watched the end like 6 times because my kids kept on running in the room at that point and distracting me, and I had to keep going back to find out what was happening.
Yeah.
All right.
So weird movie. If people like weird eccentric movies, this is like a great film. But it's just like I said, like I after I was done with it, I went, this probably could have been done in an hour and 10 minutes. You know.
If it's okay, I just want to add like another layer of like craziness. You know, I didn't know that Sebastian Stan was playing him in the beginning, and then the other guy came in and all this stuff. And I was talking to Frank, and I was like, you know, and now he's up for best. And I usually have my finger on the pulse of movies and entertainment, but this one got completely by me. What I'm going to mention next. So I said to Frank, like, and now he's up for best actor for this. And Frank's like, no, he's not up for best actor for this in the Oscars. He's up for the best actor for playing Trump. And I'm like, no, he's not. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, he is. And then I was like, no, he won the Golden Globe for this. And Frank was like, yes, he did. But he's up for playing Trump in the Oscars. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And he was like, is this movie called The Apprentice? And I'm like, The Apprentice was a TV show. And he's like, oh my God. So like
First base.
It was so strange. I thought I was dreaming because like it didn't make any sense. So this movie just messed me up in like many different ways. From the fact that I didn't know Sebastian Stan was playing in the beginning to the fact that I didn't know Sebastian Stan was not playing him at all in the Oscars. It was crazy. It was like a fever dream.
That's funny. Well, I tell you what, he's like the guy of the moment because I didn't see the Apprentice movie, but all the clips I see, he did a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked like he was really good in it, and he got nominated for an Oscar, so I would say he was pretty good at it.
Yeah, he's good in a lot of the stuff. I mean, whatever he's in.
The Tommy Lee thing, like you said, all the Marvel movies, like he's kind of the guy at the moment, I feel.
I think he was Tanya Harding's husband in I, Tonya. I'm almost positive.
Is that right? I thought that was Adam Pearson.
Right now. But seriously, he's one of those people that every time I see him, I'm like, oh, who is that? You know, he always plays like I don't know how to explain it. He's kind of like that Gary Oldman thing.
He disappears into the character. You're very right about him. Yeah, he really kind of, because you're right. It took me like seeing him like 4 times to go, oh, that's the same guy that's in the other thing. You know, like I didn't know he was in the Tommy Lee thing. I didn't know the Tommy Lee guy was the same guy as Winter Soldier. Like I didn't put those things together.
Well, there was for a while. I don't know if this is even still. There was a lot of fan buzz about him playing a younger Luke Skywalker, because if you look, they look very similar. Young Mark Hamill and Sebastian Stan look very similar. So there was talk about him playing him. But if you've seen, was it The Mandalorian or Boba Fett, the TV shows, Luke Skywalker is played by another actor, but they CGI young Luke's face on. They don't use Sebastian Stan. But there was call for, a lot of fans were like, get Sebastian Stan. He looks just like him.
Yeah.
So there's call for that. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I feel like it still could.
That's really interesting. I think he's on the Pedro Pascal. You know how Pedro Pascal, like a year or 2 ago, was just like in everything and everybody loved him? I feel like that's where Sebastian Stan is about to like really hit that stride.
He's in a stride.
With the added layer of, for a while, I feel like both of them, they're in everything, and no one knew their name.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
But he's definitely hitting his stride right now, I think. Yeah, you're right.
So
Thanks for letting me be part of this.
weirdo
Weirdo
film.
guy.
I thought it was a great suggestion.
Yeah.
I didn't, it's hard for me to like tell people to go watch it, but if weird offbeat movies is your thing, like watch it. Like I didn't hate it, but I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. But I was like in the mood. You know what it is? Because everything is so the same. It was kind of refreshing to get something like so out of the box and weird and different.
Was this up for Best Picture?
No,
it was only up for best makeup, and it didn't win.
makeup. Yeah.
It didn't. Oh, what? Oh, I guess Substance one.
The Substance.
All right.
I didn't see that one. Did you see any of the Oscar movies?
We saw the Substance.
Was it good? Should Demi have won?
We didn't see Honora, so we don't know.
Yeah, don't compare. I can't really compare it to the rest of them, but I don't know. I feel like I had a big problem with the Substance. It was a good movie, but we had, Aaron and I talked about there was a problem with the Substance. It wasn't. Some of the premise didn't add up for us.
So the substance of the substance, you said, was an issue?
There was a substance problem in the substance, and it just didn't, for us, the story didn't vibe. It didn't work because there was kind of a plot hole in it.
Got it.
I don't want to spoil it. We took the spoiler thing down, so we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah. I was reading a thing, I can't think of it now, but it's something like every time a woman wins an Oscar, it's for playing a hooker. And it was like Julia Roberts, and it doesn't have to be all about a sex thing, but like Honora is about sex workers, and
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Like you look at it, a lot of women who have won Oscars won more times than not. They're winning for a hooker, prostitute, sex worker role versus not. Yeah, That's kind of fucked up. Actually, that's a really big problem.
I'm curious of how many times that's happened.
I want to say it was like something like 14. Like that's how crazy it was. Like
that's a high number.
Yeah, it's too late in the show to look this up.
Yeah,
but if somebody's got it, put it out there in the live chat. Yeah, that's a crazy 14 or something nuts like that. Anyway, we could play the music, or we could just end the show right now. I think we should just end the show.
Just a cold end.
Just a cold end, kind of similar to like The Sopranos.